I love basketball. I love playing basketball. Just killing time. The depths that I go to create art, you have no idea. Every week I try to make sure I put a podcast out on a Tuesday. The idea for the podcast episode doesn't come until Monday, Sunday night. Then I gotta go shoot it. Because once I conceptualize something, once I've said, oh, this is the idea I want to do, if I abandon that idea, I have to come up with another idea just as good, if not better than that idea, because it's punishment for not sticking to the original thought we had. It's atonement, if you will. So I had this idea of coming to a basketball court and telling a story about a time I was at a basketball court. It's very meta. Also, I can't find a studio that has a basketball court in it. So here we are. The basketball I brought with me is rolling. Like, this bitch is just rolling. Why don't you stop? That's how I know the earth ain't flat. This bitch, it would stop. It's rolling. Stop rolling. Stop rolling. I'm talking to a basketball at an outdoor park. I tried to come to this park the other day to record, and it was a lot of people out here at the park. And I don't mean to say that like, why are people at the park? But basketball people will understand this. This is an outdoor court. Although it is great to have a court for the neighborhood and kids can have a place to go, this is concrete. One of the worst things you can do to your body is play basketball outdoors on concrete, on rock, gravel. This does not move. So when you plant your leg, when you plant your foot, it's not moving. So your bone is going up against more bone. You're going to need new rotors on your knees if you play basketball outdoors for years. It's the worst thing. And I knew it was the worst thing when I was young, because I remember when I was playing basketball when I was young and would wake up in the middle of the night, 15 years old, 16, 17 years old, my fucking knees is killing me because I've been outside. I'm trying to take this microphone off. I've been outside playing basketball in conditions that I shouldn't be playing basketball in. But I love basketball. That's how much I love basketball. I love basketball so much, I'm willing to stand outside in the heat on concrete, knee against bone, bone against more bone, trying to move fast and quick because I love basketball. I'm standing outside in a neighborhood that I don't live in, next to a highway, next to what can only be described as a homeless person's encampment, where they have basically created home outdoors. That's all over Los Angeles. If you come out here, it's nothing but homeless people everywhere. It's like the ocean had a tidal wave that hit Los Angeles, and when it went back into the sea, it just left homeless people everywhere. It's probably as many people housed as there are people unhoused in Los Angeles. I might be exaggerating, and I'm sure somebody will be like, it's not that serious, we would do something about it. No, you wouldn't. You're not even doing nothing about the problem that we have right now, and it's like 400,000 people that's homeless. Don't talk my head off. It's connected. So I'm gonna tell you about a time. I did a show last night, and the guy asked me, do I write? And I was like, yes, I do write. So for those who don't know, I do a blog called Eat Emotionally Available Today. I write about what I'm feeling. I write about what I've been through. I write about relationship, love, dating, the vulnerability of it all. I just put it all out there. Let me tell y'all something. If you don't support this episode of this podcast, we're going to have a problem. It is 92 degrees outside. Before you say anything, nobody said Moranzio go outside in the heat and do this podcast. I'm well aware of that. However, there should be some reward for the effort that I put forth to give you this content. Outside, it's 90 degrees. Highway right here. There's a homeless dude over here. There's a homeless dude right there. There's a guy who looks like if he robbed me right now, he would avoid being homeless. But he's going to remain homeless because he's not robbing me. You're not going to get me. Anyway, and I'm sweating. All to tell people about how much I love basketball and to give you an idea how much I love basketball. I grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina. Single parent home, mom, 3 kids, sometimes 4, depending on who didn't have a place to stay. My mom will open her home to people. And I played basketball at an outdoor court similar to this, except it was just this. Like on the other side of here is 2 more basketball courts. Well, it's 2 more goals. This right here connects to make a full court. And then there's a court on the other side of that goal for people who want to play half court, right? We just play hard and heavy on half court basketball on what arguably can be the worst rims on the planet. These double rims that they put at neighborhood basketball courts that you have to be a fucking magician or wizard to get that ball inside of the hole. It's like if you could put a basketball in that, you should be able to go to a carnival and clean up because those rims are the same. They're not meant for you to win. Half court. I'm 15 years old. We stay in this neighborhood adjacent to this black neighborhood called Hampshire Hills. Hampshire Hills was a predominantly white neighborhood, and then black people started moving in. And then when black people started moving in the neighborhoods, white people generally move out because they're like, I want to fight this dude with the motorcycle. It's unnecessary, sons of anarchy. It's unnecessary. Fuck, the guy lost my... Oh, double rims outside, half court. We lived in a neighborhood called Hampshire Hills, which was a black neighborhood, predominantly black neighborhood by this point in 1991, 92. White people had moved out. There was no more white people in the neighborhood. Like, all the white people had found a way to get out of the black neighborhood, and they were like, y'all can have it. We don't want it anymore. Gentrification is the revenge of people who lost their neighborhoods to minorities and taking it back. Like, we're coming back. That's gentrification is another name for revenge. So you got to excuse me. I got to make sure this camera is recording because I don't want to be out here and then turn around and the thing didn't even record. I told you this is raw. So black neighborhood, black people who thought they were better than the people that lived across the way from them. All the people that lived in the apartments and then like the houses that didn't really have a name for the neighborhood or whatever. I don't know, man. So we used to play basketball half court next to this school, elementary school called Devonshire. They built it for the neighborhood. I'm 15 going into the 10th grade. I weighed 80 pounds. 80 pounds, no facial hair, short haircut. I look like I could get kidnapped at any moment. I'm sure I was being pursued by white vans all the time with the hopes of I'll take their candy. Never happened. You can't give me candy. But I would run down to the court every day to play on this a court like this. At 15, the smallest person on the court. I love playing basketball because I like to play defense. If you playing against me, you can ask anybody that plays with me at the run day service. As soon as the ball is inbound, I'm chasing you all over the place. I am Patrick Beverley that you don't mind looking at. I will chase you around. And if you throw the ball to somebody else, I'm going to go chase that person. And if you throw the ball to somebody else, I'm going to chase that person. And if you get the ball back, I'm going to guard you even harder for giving the ball away the first time. I'm going to chase you. I'm your shadow. We're in a relationship. Until the score is decided, who the victor is, I'm chasing you. I'll play defense, run around. I'm going to harass you. One of my coaches, when I was growing up, said, if you play defense, you're guaranteed to stay on the court. I'm staying on the court. But also, I wanted to shoot. I also like to prove to people that I can play. That was one of the things that I wanted to do. It was like a Rudy story. Like, I'm not on the court. I'm going to show you I can play. You can't tell me I'm too small to play. I'm a Spud Webb, Muggsy Bogues, Earl Boykins life story. Little people that actually made it into the NBA. Success stories. Everybody's a little Rudy, right? I go down to the court. Here's some rules for recreational basketball in my neighborhood. I'm sure in the black community. So, peep game, right? You will come to this court, be a whole bunch of guys all around with their gym bags, basketballs, shoes, water. Somebody may have a radio. People riding around on their bikes. People just congregate to watch everybody be competitive. We would shoot for captains at the free throw, or if you wanted to really eliminate people from having the opportunity to become a captain, you would shoot for the three-point line. If you hit, those were the two captains. They would pick who they wanted to be. Like, you go pick your first pick. I want him. I want him. I want him. I want him. 5-on-5, or because it was half court, 3-on-3. Whoever didn't get picked, as soon as the last person is picked, somebody would say, I got next. No, I got next. I'm calling it out. I got next. That meant I'm the next captain. And then the person would say, another person would say, I got next after him. Until you got like 5 people saying they got next. You still got people waiting to perform, to get picked, right? So you got people waiting for their turn to play. You got 3-on-3 going on, or 4-on-4 going on, depending on how big the court was. I think we play 4-on-4 in half-court basketball, which is insane. The rules were, if you shot the ball, if I'm on a team and we shoot the ball, the other team, if they get the rebound, they have to bring the ball all the way out on the perimeter to restart, because you can't miss a shot and then put the ball back up. You got to reset it, right? The rules. We go by 1s and 2s. 1s is regular shots. 2s would be the three-point line. You can't play 3s when you're playing half-court basketball. And most people don't want to play it in recreation either. So people waiting. Guys would play. Girls would be around. Kids on the playground. And I would say I got next. Like, as soon as I didn't get picked, because I knew I wasn't going to be the first one to get picked. I'm not tall. I'm not strong. So I would just be like, all right, he got picked. I'd be like, I got next. Depending on what day it is, depending on who's playing, I may get bullied out of my next. Somebody may say, I got next, little nigga. And I'd be like, but I just called. What I say? Some days I would fight for it. Some days I wouldn't. But most days I would fight for my next. If I said it first, I'm getting it, right? So one day I come to the court, and it's one of those days where dudes are really feisty. But it's a beautiful thing, because you have all these black men descending upon this basketball court, congregating, talking about their day, talking about who they're dating. We're talking about hip-hop. We're talking about basketball. We're talking about life, playing basketball, commentating on who's playing, who took a bad shot, who can't dribble, whatever. Just talking. I get down to the court late because my mom came home early and was like, you can't go outside until you finish cleaning up. Granted, it's the summertime. I've been home all day. There's no excuse for the kitchen not to be clean. There's no excuse for my bedroom not to be clean. No excuse for the living room not to be vacuumed. I should have done it, but I was a kid. So my mom was like, you got to clean up before you can go outside and play or whatever, before you can go down the street. I did a half-ass job, cleaned up, sprint to the basketball court, because I know I've missed my window to say I got next, because they've already started playing, and there's probably 5 other people saying they got next. and you're going against the sun. Once the sun sets, the game's over because we're not playing in the dark because the courts were not lit. So I get down there late. Somehow I managed to get a next. When a team loses, the losing team be like, yo, who got next? And they be like, I do. You got your team already? No. Can I run? Yeah. Depending on how good you are. If they don't want to pick you immediately, like, I don't know, man. Let me see if I'm gonna see who lost. I'm gonna pick my team. All right, man. Cool. Whatever. Let me know I'm over here. Right? Guys will come off. Who got next? The dude had lost. He was mad that he lost. He was pissed. Came off. He was like, who got next? And I was like, I got next. And everybody pointed like he got next. And the dude was like, man, fuck that. He ain't got next, I got next, man. Fuck that little dude. He was trying to take my next because he was mad he lost. He didn't think I deserved to be out on the court. Pause for a station break. I need to make sure this shit is recorded. It's recorded. All right, so he's like, fuck that shit, I got next. I'm like, no, I got next. I got to fight for it today. I have to fight for it today because I got there late, and I knew they were going to try to punk me out of my next. And I'm like, I got next. And he's like, no, I got next. I was like, no, I got next. And he tried to intimidate by saying to me, what do you say? And I said, I got next. So once he realized he couldn't bully me and nobody was going to agree with him that he should have next, he begins to barker around the court while everybody playing. Talk about, man, why y'all letting this little motherfucker on the court, man? He shouldn't be out here. He shouldn't be playing with us out here, man. This little motherfucker small, man. Fuck that shit, man. I don't like that shit, dog. I don't like when little niggas be out here and it's like, it shouldn't even be all that. I don't say anything. I'm still holding on to I still have my next, so there's no need to engage, right? Plus, I'm by myself to a degree because I have friends down there, but depending on how close your friends are, depends on if they're going to jump in and help you when you're getting your ass beat. So he's still talking shit. The team loses. When they come off, even if guys don't want to play with you, they want to play. So they be like, you got next, little man? You got your team? I was like, no. You want to play? Sure. Got you. Boom, boom, boom. I'm getting everybody. I pick my team. The winning team is on the court. I'm so focused on making sure that I prove that I deserve to be on the court. I'm talking to my teammates like, yo, you gonna guard that guy? Okay, you gonna guard that guy? Okay, you got that guy. I'm trying to be captain. I'm like, you gonna guard that guy? Yeah, okay, I'm gonna guard this guy right here. I'm saying I'm gonna pick him up on defense. I'm gonna, whatever, this is my guy. You got him, cool. I'm talking like a coach because I'm also trying to make sure that the people that I have picked are on my side to make sure that I win so I can stay on the court, because if I lose, I'm not playing anymore for the rest of the day. My opportunity to play anymore for the rest of the day is gone because no one's going to pick me up anymore. And by the time I get to call next again, it'll be so late that the sun will have gone down. A lot of elements I'm going against. So we started, somebody takes the ball out. We play a couple of possessions. And then the guy I'm guarding, he stops. He just stands still. And then all the teammates, everybody starts to exit the court like, yo, get off the court, you should leave the court. And I'm like, no, I'm not leaving, this is my next. I'm thinking they still trying to take my next from me. I don't even think we got a possession. I don't think we play yet. I think we're still pairing up, trying to find out who's playing and who's not. And then when we finally decide who was going to play, I'm like, no, I'm not getting off the court. They're like, no, get off the court, man, you got to go, we got to go. I'm like, no, I'm not leaving. And because the guy that I was guarding didn't leave, I felt like he was in agreement with me about not getting off the court. So we both like, I'm going to guard him. He's just standing there. The reason the guy didn't move, and the reason I didn't know he didn't move, is because I couldn't hear over me telling everybody who's guarding who. This is my next. Let's play before the sun goes down. I'm trying to speak with authority, but I don't hear that this local thug, drug dealer, menace to society, groomer, pedophile. I have an issue with groomers. I have an issue with pedophiles. By the way, I know a guy who's 46 years old who has 4 kids, one which is a daughter, and he groomed his wife, found her when she was 15, started dating her when she was 17, destroyed her life, and he did it to several other women. Now he's with another woman who has daughters, which if I am a woman in a relationship with a man who has a history of talking to younger women, I would not bring my child around that man. But when you're desperate and you don't believe in yourself, you'll put up with anything. So this guy's name is Russell. Russell has a gut. He always got his hair cut nice though. Fat in the face. Buck tooth, like got a gap in his teeth. I think one tooth was missing. One tooth was gold. Local drug dealer. Nino, like Omar. If Omar was like a pedophile and Omar was like a drug dealer and Omar was like a bully in the neighborhood to just everybody, that was Russell. I don't hear that Russell has yelled and announced from the top of the hill as he's walking down the street to the guy I'm guarding that he cannot run. He better not run. If you run, I'm going to beat you to your home, and I'm still going to get you. I don't hear any of that. So when I'm guarding the guy, Russell wants everybody off the court. He says, clear the court. I'm not clearing the court. Russell realizes people aren't moving fast enough. Russell proceeds to shoot his gun in the air to clear the court. That's the 90s, son. I don't care about this generation and what y'all go through. And I don't mean that to be mean. But for you to get me to care about you not being able to be what you want to be, or you can't be on the app that you want to be on, or you can't be the gender you want to be, that's not on my radar. I grew up in the 90s, the crack era, the era where if you had a starter jacket, somebody would kill you. The era if you had on Jordan, someone would kill you. There were kids who couldn't wear nice things in their neighborhood because there were kids who could not afford nice things, would take those nice things from the kids that could afford those nice things. Kill them. Kill them for wearing a Georgetown jacket or a Raiders jacket or a Chicago Bulls jacket. If it had an S for starter on it, you were going to get robbed for it. There was a high probability you were going to die for your jacket. If you bought Jordans, you were going to get shot for your Jordans, because that's what those kids did back in the day. Your Jordans, your starter jacket, your Swatch watch, whatever was trending, whatever was popular, whatever symbolized you are successful or you're doing well. If kids didn't have those things, they were going to take those things because they needed to feel valuable. Or they rob you because they resented the fact that you could actually own that shit. The 90s was wild, son. The 90s, I'm going to talk about the 90s for like 6 episodes. I might talk about the 90s the entire podcast, the entire duration of the podcast, because people don't remember how wild the 90s was. I have an issue with hip-hop. I've always had an issue with hip-hop. It is misogynistic, it is dangerous, and I believe it does more damage than it does good. But I'm not going to talk about it right now. 90s, basketball court, Russell coming down the street, shooting in the air. When I hear him shoot, that's when I turn around and be like, what's going on? I see Russell and 2 other dudes walking down the street, and I just take off running. And when I take off running, that's when I hear more gunshots. But I also see the gun being pointed towards me. Someone said that Russell thought that I was with the guy, or at one point, he thought the guy was me running, and he was trying to make sure that didn't happen. I took off running. I don't know when my physical form caught up with my soul, my spirit, my aura, because that shit left my body and went that way. And my physical form was like, oh my God, where did the thing that keeps me going go? And they had to run after me. My physical had to catch up with my soul. The gunshots were going off. Everybody's scared. I mean scattered. Scattered like turn the light on. Roaches like, yo, we've been found out. Pew, go. The 90s. I feel bad because I never bothered to ask what happened to the guy. I just know that when I was running, for some reason, the curiosity was like, look back. I turned back to look, and I see he's surrounded by Russell and the 2 other guys that he was with talking. Nobody came to the court for about 2 or 3 days, probably because of safety reasons, probably because the guilt of why didn't we do anything, probably because I don't feel like dying. I'm going to chill for a little while. About 3 or 4 days later, we ended up going back to the basketball court. Nobody really talked about what happened. But I never bothered to ask what happened to the guy that I was guarding. Did he live? Did he die? What happened? But even though that happened, I still played basketball. If you're black, you grew up in the inner city, urban area, anywhere where crime is, where people didn't have enough. You know what? That's not even a fair assessment, because I went to school with kids whose parents were both in the household, they both were doing well, and they still felt the need to sell drugs because they wanted to be tough. One kid I know didn't even have to do it, did it, went to jail because he's trying to be tough. It was the 90s. I love playing basketball because basketball makes me feel young. I'm 47. I play basketball every Sunday if possible for 2 to 3 hours, up and down the court, full court, 94 feet, playing, proving that I can play defense, proving that I can still be on the court because it makes me feel young. I played basketball in the 90s because it made me feel young. I enjoyed it. Even though I knew there was a possibility that any given day I could fucking die playing basketball. Any given day on this court, a dude can have a problem with any guy on the court and kill him. Any basketball court in this country where black people played, and I only know about black people's problems, there's a possibility you could get shot and killed because somebody don't like the way you dribble, somebody don't like the fact that you embarrassed them, somebody don't like the fact that you got the game winner on them, somebody don't like the fact that their girl is clapping for you and they don't like that. You can't embarrass the thug. You know who hangs out at these courts? Drug dealers that come out with the Chuck Taylors on, no shirt on, pants hanging low, and be like, give me the ball, little man, give me the ball, give me the rock, dog. Harassed by dudes that can't do what you do or don't want you to have fun or think they're better than you. Just the type of neighborhood I grew up in. Kids scared to play anyway, bullied, beat up, shot, killed, forced to sell drugs. And they would all come to a basketball court. And you're rolling the dice because you don't know who is in a good or bad mood for basketball, man. This shit's supposed to be fun. This shit's supposed to be fun, and dudes come firing shots. If you've ever shot at a basketball court, you're stupid. If you ever kill somebody because you got embarrassed by somebody, you're stupid. You're probably in jail, but you're still stupid because you're in jail and you shot somebody. It's a basketball court. I hate those rims, but I will play basketball anyway because guess what? It made me a better basketball player because if I could put the ball in that atrocity, I could put the ball in any other rim. And I still play basketball to this day because I love it. I love it. It makes me feel young. I need to feel young. I want to feel young. I don't want to feel old. I do it because I love it. I do comedy because I love it. I do it because it makes me feel good when I'm able to create something and then everybody can be like, oh, I see what you did. That's nice. We get it. There's a passion behind it. I can't do nothing I don't have a passion for. Nothing. I can't do nothing I don't have a passion for. If I don't have a passion for it, I can't do it. I can't do a relationship. I can't do a job. I can't do stand up if I don't have any passion for it. I don't know where Russell is right now, but I know a lot of Russells out there. I know a lot of men who are groomers, who manipulate, try to change young women to be what they want them to be. I know a lot of thugs. I know a lot of dudes who don't have good intentions. They look like they were born evil. But I love basketball. And because I love it, I'm going to keep playing it until I can't play it anymore. Just like I love doing this stuff right here, This is not normal. I'm at a basketball court in an okay neighborhood, but I do it because it's something different. Some people will watch this. Some people will listen to it. For those that are listening, I'm at a basketball court. It's 90 degrees outside. It is a questionable area to some degree. I'm sweating. I got a black shirt on. I got a black Killing Time shirt on with some sweats on and some shoes I bought when I was on tour with Daniel Tosh in 2014 in San Francisco. All to see what I could create. All to explain that I love basketball. All to explain why I do what I do, even though it could kill me. Comedy could kill me. Basketball could kill me. But I also just kill some time. And that was a corny way to end it, but what am I do? Download the podcast. I'm gonna write a blog about this. I may write like a essay for this for my book, The Time I Got Shot At. So if you read it, somebody like, oh, this is a story, I'm gonna add more to it. Download the podcast, support the podcast, watch the podcast. Don't ask me why I'm not successful if you are not sharing my stuff. Do not ask me why I'm not performing more places if you are not sharing what I do. My goal is either to inspire, entertain, or educate. If I did any one of those today, let me know. Y'all take it easy. Where's my basketball?